Alright, as I understand it, everybody likes looking at cards. I got some new cards in the post, and I just want to share what I got, tell you a bit about why I got them. First up is this Esper Charge of Valera Swamp in foil. The reason I got this is in my commander decks, some of you listening to my commander videos know that I like all the basic lands to be from the same set and to be thematically matched. For example, if I have a Lorwyn land in a dual color deck, I will have the matching Lorwyn land to make the Bitech, to make the full picture. So I'll have the swamp, for example, and then the island that matches. For example, Larry McDougal, Omar Rayan, that sort of thing. In Shroom, I've got the Esper lands for shards, and I didn't have any foil swamps. I've got a foil, I think 2 foil islands and 1 foil plains, and this is the first foil swamp that I've got. And I like to have at least a few of the basic lands foil. It might sound odd, but I do not necessarily like all the lands to be foil, because it makes the foil ones more special. When I have, say, 3 islands out, and only one of them is foil, the rest are flat, i.e. non-foil. I said that because the foils, they look more, they pop. they get my attention. That foil island looks more special in relation to the flat ones. Then I have the Federal Grifter. I'm not sure if I'm going to put this into Azami or not. It's pretty cheap. 2 in a blue for a wizard 1/1. Tap 2 and tap wizards you control, tap target permanent. So it doesn't matter if they've got summoning signets or not. I can just tap them. Same with the Birchlore Rangers I believe they're from Onslaught 2. They do the same thing for elves, where you can tap 2 elves to add 1 mana of any color. And again, it's not affected by summoning signets. Azami is pretty tight right now. My build is well defined, so I'm not sure what I would take out for this, or if I even really need it, but it's something I'm going to consider. Basically, a person that I bought a more expensive card from, he had this in his sales section, and I thought, hey, that's a good price. I'm picking it up. I'll use it someday, and if not, I'll just put it in my art binder because it is pretty. I do like Grix's Dipples art. Cold-Eyed Selkie. Edric has a German one. I forget the name offhand in Deutsch. So I wanted an English copy I just wanted one. And he had one, again, at a good price. This seller from Ireland. Right now, she doesn't have a deck. I don't have anything green-blue that demands her, that doesn't have one already, i.e. Edric. So she will go in my art binder pending future employment in a deck. Teleprimal Storm. When I had Joyra to get to, before I took her apart for being too slow, for telegraphing my intentions too much, and giving my opponents too much opportunity to kill me before I could do anything, I wanted a tally. But it was still expensive. She was really expensive in foil. And then the price dropped. And the price dropped a lot. And this Irishman, so he had an Italian at a good price. And again, as with the Cold-Eyed Selkie, I do not have a deck planned for Italian right now, but she's such a good card, and I do have the foil copy now. I thought, I'll go ahead and pick it up. Save her for later. That's what my art binders are. My art binders are either junk cards that I just like the art on, i.e. Back Alley Broker, or they're cards that have been superseded that are not viable, but I still like the art on, i.e. North Star, or they're cards that I intend for a commander deck at some point, but the build doesn't really have a place for them at this time, and I just keep them for future use. For example, when I took apart Joyra, I put all the Scalding Tarn, the steam vents, the Siobhan Reef, and so on in the binder for future use. I used to sell those cards. I used to, whenever I broke up a deck, I would sell whatever I don't intend to use. But often enough, I've come back later and built something in those colors or could use that, and I needed to rebuy it. So I'm more into hoarding now. Dragon Skull Summit. This is actually a free one. He threw it. No, did I pay for this? I can't remember. I honestly cannot remember if I ordered this intentionally or not, because he did throw in some free foils. Very nice. One of them actually is something I can use, and I want to use it. I just have to find a place for it. So anyway, this Dragon Skull Summit, I'm thinking of rebuilding Nekazar. I did a video on a deck tech where I talk about how I would build it today versus how the previous build was and why it failed, why it quit working. So if I rebuild Nekazar, this Dragon Skull Summit will go in there. Leonin War Leader. Intentionally, this was intended for Erebo, Roar of the World. But Erebo is, I'm still missing a lot of the cards, and a lot of them are in editions that are expensive. For example, I want the Secret Lair Kitty Cat Kodama's Reach, and it's 60 or 70 euros. There's a couple other cards like that are expensive. And in the meantime, I started rebuilding Aurelia, and originally she was going to be an enchantment-themed deck, and then I started veering off into tokens. And what I want in the deck are creatures that generate tokens either on attack or come into play with tokens with support. For example, Siege Gang Commander. So Leonin War Leader is going to go into my Aurelia rebuild. And right now, if I build her the way I want her, she's still going to cost about 200 to 300 euros if I get the foils that I want. If I just blitz it and I go with the cheapest versions I can probably build her, finish her for about 50 to 100 euros, but I'm more likely to wait. Nakta War Pride. This is intended for Erebo, Roar of the Wild. He must be blocked by exactly one creature Fable. Whenever he attacks, put X tokens to play tapped and attacking that are copies of Nakta War Pride, where X is the number of creatures defending player controls. Remove the tokens from the game at the end of the turn. I love the future sight frame. It's just neat. It's just different. It obviously has its limitations because there's only 2 more pips that can be put on there. But it's cool. It's different. Crystal Quarry. I just wanted this. I love this art. It's just the colors, the feel. It's a beautiful card. I don't have any 5-color decks. I have no intention of building any 5-color decks. I just wanted this for the art. Unfortunately, it does have a cut line. I don't know if you can see it, but it was a good price, and it's sad that and tragic that greed eclipses beauty. So this is a free one that he threw in. I didn't even remember it existed. So, Obscuring Ether, one green for enchantment. Face on creature spells you cast, cost 1 less to cast. And then I can turn this down. This is interesting. I'm happy he sent it to me. It's worth nothing. But I could maybe use it in NMR, my NMR surprise motherfucker, Eldrazi morph deck. Or I could build a morph deck. I like getting cards like this that are interesting, that I can use later, that make me think and explore the possibilities. Glorybound Initiate. Yeah, he's kind of cool. But never use them, because they're just more efficient creatures I would play, more interesting things I would do. But since he becomes a 4/4 if he's exerted with LifeLink, it's still some possibilities. I might do something with him, but I really do not expect to. Then he sent me a Master of Ethereum. I don't even know this guy. It was the first time I ever purchased cards from him, this Irish seller. And he sent me this Master of Ethereum, 2 and a blue, for a Fidelkin Wizard artifact creature whose power and toughness are equal to the number of artifacts I control. And my other artifact creatures get +1/+1. I have Sharum. She's not really an artifact creature deck. She's a dirty combo deck. But still, he could find a place in her. Possibly. I really have to think about it. But it was a very welcome surprise when I'm going through the packet and I see him. And I was like, wow, that was free. Just a thank you for spending the money with him, and it's something I can actually employ. Now for the last card. This last card, if you saw my buyout, or why I wouldn't do a buyout video, you know this card. Full Graven cards. So I was looking up Foil River of Tears because I thought it would be cool to put it into SIG to replace one of the lands I was taking out. And Foil River of Tears is still kind of expensive, and I just thought, what are the other lands going for? So I looked at Horizon Canopy. Still bloody well 100 euros for the Future Sight foil, but fair enough. Horizon Canopy is used in a lot of formats. It's a very, very popular card. Graven Cards, though, he had a near mint one for a very good price, and there were not that many. There were not that many in excellent to near mint, and it got me thinking, there's only about 10 of these near mint and excellent, and usually people that buy foils, they want near mint or excellent. What if I bought them out? Would that bring me any benefit? Could I profit off it? How quickly could I profit off it? How hard would it be to sell out once I decided to cash in? What would happen in the meantime? How many sellers would come out of the woodwork and list their own copies if I raised the price floor from 30 euros where it is now to 80 because I bought all the 30 and 40 euro cards? Would there be enough demand to make it a worthwhile endeavor, to tie up the capital in a speculation? Some of the pros are the Future Sight frame will probably not be reprinted. Of course, now we know that Wizards is with the Kaladesh Masterpiece frames. They're willing to print cards in those, willing to reuse that frame. Would they revisit the Future Sight frame with the Future Sight art? Graven Cards has, I believe it's 4 other printings now, but all with the Eventide art, not with this art. So this is still comparatively a unique card. This version has not been reprinted. I think it is unlikely to be reprinted, but fundamentally I do not believe much demand is there, because anybody that wants this card is going to be either an EDH player or a kitchen table player, because it's not really played in any other tournament format. And if they're just building a deck, they're probably not going to want to spend 30 euros on a foil Future Sight Graven card when they can pick up the Eventide version, which still looks really nice, still has the old, well, previous, has this frame. So the Eventide version still has the frame where the color is at the bottom, where it's fully around the edge of the card. And you can get those for about 10-12 euros. So, I don't know. I talked about the what it mean to do a buyout in the video, and just did some free thinking waiting to see what people respond with. That's it. That's what I got in the post. I just like talking about the cards, showing the cards. I think we all do, don't we?